Good afternoon, everyone. Rose Thorne here. Today, I'm reacting to Foodie Beauty's newest community post that she posted in reference to her behavior yesterday. Before I get into that, though, I have some thoughts I'd like to share with all of you about the events with Foodie Beauty yesterday. So anyone watching my React videos or going to Foodie's channel and watching her content, I think we can all agree that yesterday was a lot, especially the very short last live stream that she did before she logged off. So it took everything I had to keep up with everything that Foodie was doing yesterday. I was literally trying to catch up from the day before, and then she kept doing live stream after live stream, just trying to keep up with it all so I wouldn't fall behind. And Foodie was doing the absolute most with each and every live stream. She was dressed in her lingerie, which is very inappropriate for YouTube, walking around half naked. She was completely blasted out of her head on edibles. She was mixing that with copious amounts of alcohol and perhaps even other substances. I'm not even sure what she was doing yesterday. But in a nutshell, I feel that everything that she did yesterday, she was throwing a temper tantrum because she wanted Natter to call her and talk to her. She's doing everything in the world to get his attention. She was trying to manipulate him to call her and be concerned for her. And no matter what she did, Natter did not care. No matter how outrageously she acted, he still didn't care. He was with Dee Dee, and he wanted nothing to do with Chantal. She called him several times yesterday on live stream. She even went so far as to flirt with Pete's, come on to Pete's, kiss Pete's, again, trying to make Natter jealous and to make him call her. Nothing worked. And at the end of her trying to get his attention, to get him to talk to her, the last live stream was a doozy. And it stayed up on her channel all night because she was too wasted to delete it. I was doing an ambiance video at the time. I got alerted to the last live and I watched it. I wish I didn't, because I've seen Chantal wasted many times. I've seen her under the influence of drugs many times. And although the Cuba Rage stream was a lot, the short 12-minute stream that she did was even more so. You know, as a reactor to Foodie Beauty, one of my biggest fears is that Foodie is going to get on camera and she's literally going to die on live stream. And when that happens, people are going to be sniping, people are going to be watching, and it's going to happen in front of an audience of thousands. And like I said, I've seen Chantal messed up on drugs and alcohol many times. She makes a point to get on camera and act that way. And it's not even in an edited video where she can go back and perhaps delete it. She always turns on the camera and it's live. Watching that 12-minute stream, I saw something with Chantal that I've never seen before. During that stream, for a moment, it looked like she honestly lost control of her body, like she didn't know where she was. I didn't know if something was going to happen to her. I didn't want to see it happen. I really didn't want to see it. It almost felt like death was blowing wind over her shoulder. And then she ran to the bathroom and she vomited. She came back and she tried to talk for a minute and she was gagging several times before she finally turned her stream off. Chantal, she likes to blame everything on alcohol when she acts that way. But we've seen Foodie act inappropriately without the alcohol. We've seen her be very offensive while she's sober. She said very inappropriate, offensive things while she's sober. So Foodie, you really can't blame alcohol for acting that way. Lots of people drink a little bit too much or get under the influence and don't act that way. If we've seen you act that way sober, you can't blame it on the alcohol. There's an old saying, a drunken mind makes for a sober tongue. I think when you drink, that the truth tends to come out because you're not being in control of what you're saying. But on top of the drunken, out of control behavior, that really shouldn't have happened on live stream in the first place, because you shouldn't do that on YouTube. She was being extremely offensive, playing the pumped up kick song again, and she was making finger guns. This happened during the short stream that is now deleted. Foodie, that's a tragedy that happened where a lot of little ones lost their lives. When I saw your community post where you're showing a picture of one of the grieving mothers, I was horrified that you were exploiting the situation that way, and you're exploiting the pain of a mother that way. And rather than be truly apologetic, rather than truly show empathy, you keep playing that song. You did the finger guns. You're not really sorry, are you? You're not really sorry. You're exploiting the pain and suffering of others. Because that's what you do. You're a defiant person, and anything that pisses people off, you're going to go with that. You're going to double down. You shouldn't do that. YouTube should have never let you have your channel back, because ever since then, you've made it your business to act as if you're untouchable. I said it before, I'll say it again. I think that when you got your channel back, you felt that YouTube would let you do whatever you wanted and you can get away with it. And so you've been acting that way, doing whatever you want, almost daring YouTube to get rid of you. I have this to say, Foodie. Even if YouTube lets you have your channel and they let you do whatever you want, at some point in life, Foodie, all checks have to be cashed. You can't live the way that you're living and expect that there will be no consequences. At some point, there will be a consequence, and there might be something you cannot say sorry for. You cannot repair. You cannot pay to go away. Something's going to happen. You're a runaway train ready to crash into a wall. I think we can all agree upon that. You have no sense of self-control. You have no self-discipline. And you're living life recklessly. At some point, something is going to happen. As a reactor, I just hope that nothing bad happens on camera in front of an audience of thousands of people. That would be traumatic for anyone watching. I don't want to see you die on camera, Foodie. But you're kind of pushing things in that direction, aren't you? Because you live stream every minute of every day that you can. You don't take a break. You don't take care of yourself. You make a point to stream everything. I was in Monty's channel. He's doing a panel right now. And I was watching the chat. I was watching what some of the people were saying. Some of the people that were in the chat were saying, why do the reactors cover Foodie? Why don't they stop? Well, I can answer that. Because It would be virtually impossible to make all of the reaction channels stop covering Foodie. There's so many of them. Expecting well over 50 channels to just stop reacting to Foodie, that's not going to happen. And even if we stop reacting to Foodie, she is not going to stop acting the way that she's acting. As far as why I cover Foodie, because someone needs to hold her accountable. The reaction channels hold her accountable. Foodie is someone that she's not going to bring truth to her channel. So the only truth to be found about Foodie would be the reaction channels. We show people the truth about her. We hold her accountable. Somebody needs to. My fear is that impressionable people that come to YouTube that want to make a YouTube channel, they go to her channel and see the fact that she's got 90K subscribers. They might look at Foodie and say, oh, she's got a really big channel. She's making lots of money. Maybe I should do what she's doing and then I'll have a big channel. Part of the reason why I do reaction videos is to show people why that's a bad idea. That it's a bad idea to follow Foodie Beauty's example. She may make a lot of money, but she doesn't have a life. She's unhappy. She's destroying her health. She's destroying her life. Everybody should know that. That money doesn't buy happiness. Certainly that's the case with Foodie. She's making a lot of money on YouTube, but she's not happy and she's not healthy. And she's slowly killing herself with food, with drugs, with her lifestyle. No one should look at Foodie as a role model to know how to live or to proceed on YouTube. For someone who's making so much money, she's doing absolutely everything wrong. Foodie is someone that she goes out of her way to offend as many people as possible, as many communities as possible, even to the point of exploiting the death of innocent children for views and for money. I can't think of anything lower than that. But it's an old joke. Just when you think Foodie can't sink any lower, she surprises you by going even lower. But I'm going to continue to cover Foodie, to hold her accountable, because again, somebody needs to. The reaction channels need to hold her accountable, because she's not going to tell the truth about herself, about her life. The reaction channels are going to hold her accountable, and they're going to show the truth of who she is. Foodie may not like it, but that's just too bad, because for everything in life, there has to be a counterbalance. For all of her lies and deception, for all of her fakery, there has to be the other side of that. And the other side is truth, just straight truth. So that's why I'm here. And although yesterday was a lot for me, watching her just spin completely out of control, I didn't like seeing it. And for a moment, I was actually scared that I might be witnessing a medical emergency. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what she was taking. I'm going to continue to cover her. As a reactor, there's nothing I can do to stop her from living the way that she's living. That's another thing. A lot of people have jumped in my comments lately, tried to leave comments saying, why don't you do something? Why don't you do something about Chantal? Why don't you do something about the way she cares for her cats? To those people, I say, I'm a reactor. I'm thousands of miles away from Foodie Beauty. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing any of the reactors can do. We're just covering Foodie. We don't have the authority to change her into a different person, to make her stop living the way that she's living. Even if she turned her camera off, there's nothing we can do. All we're doing is commenting on what we see in the live streams that she does, but we are powerless to do anything. It's up to Foodie to change who she is. It's up to Foodie to change her lifestyle. It's not up to the reactors. We have no absolute power over her. Animal control has been called on Foodie multiple times. They haven't taken the cats away. The police in the past have done wellness checks. Nothing came of that. So if people with authority cannot stop Foodie, how can the reactors stop Foodie? There's nothing we can do. We're just doing what we can do, which is react to her and spread the truth all over YouTube and maybe give people pause to think about what they're watching. Maybe give them pause to think about how truthful she's being and how much truth there is in her life. Trust me, there is no truth in Foodie. There never has been, there never will be. She lives in a world of delusion and lies, and the reaction channels are just simply here to give the truth. So, with that said, let's move on to the community post, because she did a community post where she claimed she was sorry, but she's doing a live right now. I knew that due to her condition last night, that it would take her a while to come on live, but she would come on live because Foodie has an addiction for attention. She can't stay a whole day away from the camera. But she's on live right now. She's not apologetic. She's not apologizing to people. She and Pete are laughing about what happened last night. And she's eating a nashi and raging at people that tried to hold her accountable. So this is what her post says. Foodie Beauty says, I drank way, way, way too much. Never drinking again for real, especially not on live stream. I lose the ability to control how much I drink. And as you all know, very unfortunately, what comes out of my mouth as well. I acted very inappropriately, and I'm sorry. So that was the post 6 hours ago. And yet in the live that's going on right now, she's not apologetic. So which is the real you, Foodie? The one making this short post? Or the person doing the live stream where you're not apologetic and you're raging at people who try to hold you accountable? I think when you say words, if you don't put any true sincerity behind the words mean nothing. I think the live stream you're doing right now is much more who you are, my opinion. Miss Dawn says, you've outraged so many beyond belief. I was going to write something, but I see everyone has said all the things that I wanted to say. Well done for being hated as much as Amber Heard. Love that for you. Yeah, Foodie was completely out of pocket yesterday. Completely. She was being incredibly, incredibly offensive. Incredibly offensive. Acting inappropriately on YouTube. Talking about the tragedy. Playing the pumped up kick song numerous times, making finger guns. Foodie, it's not funny. It's not funny. You made a community post saying that your heart went out to all the victims at the same time that you posted a picture of one of the grieving mothers, which in my opinion was extremely disrespectful to that woman and her grief. And that picture is still up. So how much empathy for the tragedy do you have really? And how much empathy have you shown since that post if you're going to play the pumped up kick song several times in your stream and do the finger guns like it's cute? It's not cute. When you say one thing and then you act a completely different way afterwards, it shows that you don't mean what you say. It shows you're a phony and a fraud and you have no feelings. FA says, there she goes blaming it on the alcohol, saying drinking made her lose control of what comes out of her mouth. So it's not her, it's the alcohol. No, it's not the alcohol. There's no bottle of anything that I could think of. There's no can of anything that I could think of that would make a person exploit the tragedy of young dead children. I can't think of a single name of an ounce of liquor that would make somebody do that. I really can't. There's no bottle, no can, no pint, no nothing that would make somebody do that. Somebody saying things like that, it comes from them, not from a bunch of liquid. You've been offensive before, Foodie. Sober. You've been offensive before while you're sober. You can't blame it on anything but you. Inga Mez says, when someone has to say sorry over and over for the same thing, they are not sorry. Your apologies are sincere, disingenuous, hollow, worthless, and meaningless. Apologies only work when you alter the behaviors you're apologizing for. No excuses. If you need outside help to curb the behaviors, so be it. But the onus and responsibility is all on you. Well said, Inga. When an apology is real, when it comes from the heart, that means you feel remorse and regret for the wrong you've done, for the hurt you've caused. If it's coming from inside for real, you don't feel good feeling that you've done somebody wrong. And so you apologize and say, I'm sorry for what I said. I'm sorry for what I did. You feel that unsettled feeling inside of you and you don't like it. And you make a point to not do or say whatever it is you did or said. And yet Foodie says sorry and she keeps repeating the same behaviors. So you're right, Inga. Her apologies are meaningless because she doesn't stop doing the things that she does to offend everybody. She does need to get help to curb her behaviors, but she'll never get help. She doesn't want help. She thinks everything in her life is fine. Unfortunately for all of us on YouTube, Foodie is an addict with several addictions. She has a channel and she is getting literally financially rewarded for showing self-harm on camera. And yes, I said it. She's doing self-harm content on YouTube and she's getting compensated for it. And she's got an audience. She's got the VIBs that they encourage her to hurt herself. They want to see her hurt herself. I've watched the chat many times. She'll be sitting there eating food, not even finished with a meal, and the VIBs will be encouraging her to order more food. She'll be completely blasted on edibles. They will encourage her to do more edibles. She'll be drunk, blasted drunk, and they will encourage her to keep drinking. Last night, in the 12-minute live stream, when she looked completely gone, I watched the chat. There were people in the chat encouraging her to drink, encouraging her to go further. And I get it. Some of the VIBs are trolls. There's a lot of people that are VIBs that are trolls. And there might be some VIBs that actually care about Foodie. But there's a lot of toxic people in the VIB chat that encourage her to engage in the self-harm for their own morbid sense of curiosity. They want to see her crash and they want to see her do it on live stream. They don't want it to happen off live stream where they can't witness. To be fair to everyone, VIB chat or not, Foodie is responsible for her own words and her own actions. Even if people are encouraging her to drink and to eat, she as an adult, as a woman, can choose to say no, and she doesn't. So she is responsible for the things that she does and the things that she says. Nobody's forcing her, but still, she's a person that she follows the crowd. You know, she gets pumped up. People put the battery in the back and she starts going off. So yeah, anybody who's a VIB, I understand some of you are trolls, but understand that whether you're a troll or not, you're in her chat, you're giving the extra $5. You're funding this crap. No matter which way you look at it, whether you like her, hate her, it's a troll in her chat, you're funding this crap. And I would seriously question why. Like, what is the point? You can watch Foodie on any of the reaction channels, still see what's going on. You don't have to be in her live chat. You got a choice. You can watch it somewhere else if you want to. You don't have to give funding for it. I'd be questioning what I spend my money on and why. Mama Hinda says, the classic, I'm sorry, alcohol made me a racist and offensive piece of crap apology. Very nice. Yeah, at this point, honestly, the words I'm sorry from Foodie, I'm just not hearing them. I really don't care. At this point, y'all, I think we can all agree that we don't need to hear the words, I'm sorry anymore, do we? I think what we need to see is her acknowledging her wrongs and showing that she really is sorry, that she's making changes and not repeating the same behaviors. That's what needs to happen. A simple post saying I'm sorry is not enough. She needs to show that she's really sorry and stick to her word, that she's not going to get drunk on stream anymore, that she's not going to be blasted on edibles. But those of us that have watched Foodie, whether you're a reactor or a viewer, the sad thing is we know it's going to happen again. We know. She's going to say it's not going to happen again, and then probably 2 nights from now, it is going to happen again. We know that. For the last 2 years, it's been one hell of a roller coaster ride. And the cycle is getting faster and faster. She's circling the drain. We can all feel it. We can all see it. And because she is, I don't think she's going to be able to stay away from the edibles and the alcohol and whatever else she's taking. Mary Berry says, and all the VIBs who keep paying this absolute mess of a human who clearly needs help, keep cheering her on while she uses her money, your money for drugs, alcohol, and food, and making fun of the victims of the school shooting. Instead of getting real help and taking her cats to the vet, you VIBs are awesome. Well, I just addressed that. The fact that you VIBs, whether you want to admit it or not, whether you want to see it or not, you are enablers. There's no way around that fact. If you see someone who's an addict, and Foodie is, she's got an addiction for attention, she's got an addiction for food, she's got an addiction for the edibles, and she's got an addiction for natter. She's got multiple addictions. If you're someone and you give money to an addict, that makes you an enabler. There's no way around that fact, y'all. It is what it is. You are funding an addict. Whether you like them, hate them, you're not quite sure about them, you're giving money to an addict. And what do you think the addict is going to do with your money? When they're in the throes of their addiction, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to put that money towards their addictions. They're going to be more of a train wreck. They're going to push themselves to further ruin. How do you feel about that? How do you feel? Do you feel anything? Does it bother you? It would bother me. I would never give money to an addict knowing that it's going for their addictions. No, I'm not going to support that. I would never. To urge someone to go ahead and be more of a train wreck, to give them money knowing it's going to lead to the ruin of their health. Any decent person would say, no, I'm not funding that. I'm not supporting that. But that's just me. Mark R says, I'm never drinking again. I'm never eating a nashi again. I'm never seeing natter again. Well, as far as eating a nashi, she's eating a nashi right now in her life. So that's one thing. Can never say she's never eating a nashi again. She's eating one now. And she's probably going to see natter at some point. T. Davis says, you meant everything you said. Your actions were completely inappropriate. I'm actually surprised you are apologizing so quickly. I'm sure a rage stream and blocking stream will be coming soon because you don't want people to hold you accountable for anything. Natter definitely called you a piece of crap over the phone, and I 100% agree with him. I agree with him too. I think they're her and Natter are pieces of crap, both of them, and that's why they belong together. And as far as the rage stream and blocking spree, it's already started. She's on her stream right now, raging at people. So that's already started, T. Davis. It's already in progress. Ooh, I love this comment. Lily Rose says, when it's done multiple times, it becomes a choice. The sorries no longer apply. Just to give you a little mental growth message. Yeah, when you do the same thing over and over and you apologize over and over, the sincerity, the weight of the words I'm sorry, they lose their value. The words I'm sorry have no value when you keep repeating the same behaviors and there's no growth that comes from that. They're just words that you say to get out of trouble. And that's certainly the case with Foodie. She's like a toddler that she gets herself into trouble. She says the words I'm sorry, and that's supposed to make everybody forget everything she said, everything she did, and people aren't supposed to talk about it. Goblin King says, I take this as seriously as I'm never speaking about him again on my channel. He slapped me. It's over. I cured my diabetes. I'm cleaning the villa. I'm having a glow up arc. And best of all, I'm taking the cats to the vet. Yes, you're supposed to take Sam to the groomers or whatnot today. That didn't happen, did it? Nope. Nope. The cats are further neglected. She made it up. She made it her purpose to be drunk and inappropriate last night and get sick. So screw the cats, right? Can't care about them. Can't take them to the vet. Kitchen Witch says, no one will ever let anyone forget what you did and said last night. The internet is forever. Apologies mean nothing from you. No, they don't. Absolutely not. And trust me, no one's going to let her forget what she did last night, especially the reaction channels. I saw her stream last night, and watching the stream, I just let that one slide because I just made a decision. That last stream was too much. It was too much. I was not going to put it on my channel. Y'all did not need to see her like that. You did not need to see her that way and then run to the bathroom and vomit and then come back and gag. You did not need to see that. I already posted several hours of live streams before that to show you what a mess she was. You didn't need to see that. But other channels have archived that stream. I'm sure if you want to look at it, it's somewhere. I just decided not to show it because I was absolutely shocked by that last stream. Like I said, I've seen her wasted and on drugs before, but for a couple of minutes, I was actually wondering, are we witnessing Foodie having a medical emergency? It was just that bad. And for that reason, I'm not showing it. I'm not reacting to it. No, too much. Too much. Too much, Foodie. Insane Wall Street Bet says, acted like an asshole while drunk, apologizing and claiming you'll never do it again, then do it again anyway, is what abusers do. Yep, sure do. Jack Douglas says, mocking SADV victims for months was bad. Doing gun gestures and laughing when people say you're mocking the victims of a school shooting, that comes from a place of pure evil. Yeah, she is evil. I said it. She's evil. She's an evil beast. You have to be evil to mock the deaths of innocent children. You have to have no heart. You have to have no soul to do that. And she did it. She absolutely did it. And she's not apologizing today. If she wanted to do things the right way, a way that would show growth. What she should do today is sit in front of her camera after taking a shower and cleaning up her mess, because something gross for y'all, but this is what's going on her stream. She claims that when she got sick last night, she got sick all over her bathroom, and she pissed her bed, and she hasn't cleaned any of that up. She could have gotten up, cleaned up her mess, cleaned herself up, sat down sober, and talked to the camera, talked to everybody, and just apologize profusely and show actual shame and embarrassment. She's not. She's laughing right now. She's thinking it's funny. It's not funny. It's not funny to act that inappropriately. It's not funny to come on camera half dressed. And that last stream, she came back on camera not wearing any underwear, by the way. And it's especially offensive to mock the deaths of innocent children who were murdered. For that, Foodie, you are absolutely, positively, 100%, without a doubt, evil. And I would say you should be ashamed of yourself, but that's useless because you feel no shame. You feel no embarrassment. And there's a special place in hell waiting for you when your time comes, when it happens. Suzanne Sylvia says, hear how sincere apologies work. No vague, I did inappropriate things. That's a cop-out. You apologize in detail for the things you said and did. Yes, that's true. If you're truly sorry for the things you did, you will go in detail. You won't just do a Hallmark card, I'm sorry, like a general I'm sorry. You will say exactly what you were sorry for. You will go into detail. That's you as a person acknowledging everything you did out loud to everyone. That shows true sincerity to being sorry, not just saying I'm sorry and leaving it alone. Laura of the Valley says, let us guess. You're probably sink bathing right now because you vomited on yourself and probably peed or pooped yourself as well. Afterwards, you're going to pick through dirty clothing on your floor and sniff a few pieces until you find one that smells decent. Put those pieces on, run out of the house for Starbucks, go live with a fake peppy personality, cracking corny jokes while making a rat face. You'll start rambling about bettering yourself and not drinking. And once you make it home or get a call from Natter to come bring more money or groceries, you'll end the live. You know what's scary about what you just said, Laura? A lot of what you said she's actually doing right now in her live. She's wearing the dirty clothes. She's got the fake peppy personality. I don't know about the sink bathing. I think she went to Starbucks, but she went and she got a Nashi. So a lot of the things you just said in your post, she's doing right now. So you called that pretty much almost 100%. It's sad that when a commenter can peg you on what you're going to do for your apology before it even happens. That just shows how predictable you are, Foodie. Elaine Patterson says, it was way more than simply inappropriate. It was gross, insensitive, and ignorant in the extreme. Yes, it was. Agreed. Meandering Thought says, we enjoyed it, especially the last short stream with the instant karma. Any plans on making a mockery of other disasters in the future? And how many times can you go back and forth between something, the R word, and there was no essay in one day, trying to make it into a book of records? You know, as I said, watching Foodie last night, there was a few minutes where I'm like, are we witnessing a medical emergency? It was scary to me because I don't want to see that. I don't want to see her die on stream in front of me. I don't want that. She's an evil person, and karma is going to come for her. I believe in karma. You know, she is writing checks that one day her butt's going to have to cash, but I don't want to see her die on camera. That would be too traumatic for me, and I think it'd be traumatic for other people. You know, I've seen her blasted. I've seen her drunk, but there was a moment where she looked like she lost control of her body, that she wasn't even there. And I'm like, what's going on here? It was a lot. It was a lot yesterday. I hope that that never happens again. Never. Not on camera. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see her die on camera. I don't. And I don't want anybody else to see that either. It would be too much. It'd be too much. Am I glad that she got a little bit of her karma? Yes. Do I want to see her die on camera? No. No, I don't. I don't want to see that. I'm not into watching people die. No. Lisa Murray says, accountability is not simply taking the blame when something goes wrong. It's not a confession. Accountability is about delivering on a commitment. It's responsibility to an outcome. It's not just a set of tasks. It's taking initiative with thoughtful, strategic follow through. Yes, yes to all of that, Lisa. Starlight Starbright, oh, excuse me, says, can't wait for the incoming rage over the backlash from this fake apology. We already know what's going to happen. You'll double down on everything you said and block anyone who challenges you. It is mind-blowing that someone this vile even exists. Well, unfortunately, there are bad people in the world, and Chantal is one of them. She's rotten. She's evil. She has no empathy. She'll exploit anything for money. She is evil. Somebody last night in a live chat called her Satan's sister. Had to Google at that because that might actually be true. Oh, Lord. But she's already raging right now. She's already doubling down. So you guys that are calling this that she's going to rage and double down, you're right. You're right. Brandy B says, when someone shows you who they are repeatedly, believe them. Even Pete's tried to tell you to knock it off, and let's face it, he's not exactly moral standard either. Yeah, Pete was trying to stop her a little bit, but what Pete should have done was just turn off the fucking live stream, dude. Just turn it off. Turn off her phone, turn off the computer. She was doing too much. Why didn't you do something, Pete? Just shut it off. You knew that she reached past the point of no return. You were physically there. You should have cut it off. Should have stopped her. But he didn't stop her. He let her keep going, and the last stream was the result of nobody stopping her. Absolutely nobody. I like what you said, though, Brandy. When somebody shows you who they are, repeatedly believe them. That's true of Foodie, but also Natter. I hope that Foodie pays attention to that comment, because Natter has shown Chantal repeatedly who he is and that he's never going to change. And yet she keeps being desperate and thirsty and running after him like a fool. Let's see. Chantal's Cuba Rage says, so you drink too much, but you know you acted inappropriately? You watch the reaction channels? You're not sorry. This happens all the time. Yeah, it happens too much. It happens way too much. Her getting blasted, drunk, it happens too much. Janine says, sorry for what? Are you sorry for shaming the parents who lost their children? Or are you sorry for making fun of the children? She's not sorry. She's not sorry. Because she made that, oh my God, my heart goes out to all those parents, posting that picture of that poor woman. And then she plays Pumped Up Kicks last night, several times, making finger guns. How sorry are you really, Foodie? For the way you behaved, you were an asshole last night. You really were. Harley says, well, I see you survived last night. Everything you did, everything you said was vile and disgusting. It doesn't matter one little fuck that you were drunk and high. This is your fault. No one twisted your arm, almost puking on camera, kissing James. You can't blame this on Natter, although he's rotten to the core. This is on you. You need professional help, and until you see that, I hope you lose your channel on YouTube. These videos are everywhere. They've been posted on YouTube and Twitter, to say the least. They've been reported everywhere. Get some help. You know, I wish that YouTube would make her take a day or two off, you know, because, you know, the more they keep her on YouTube, you know, the more she's going to feel like she's untouchable, and the more she's going to do. And as I said, I want to see her get her karma, but I do not want to see her die on camera in front of me. Do you understand? I don't want to see that. I don't. I am not a morbid person. I don't want to see somebody die in front of me. You know, don't yell at me. She's evil, but I don't want to see her die. Not in front of me. No. I don't want her to die, but it's up to her to save her own life. She's an addict, and all addicts, whatever their addiction is, you have to take the steps to correct your addiction, to get in recovery. She's got several addictions, but she has to take control of herself. Nobody can help her. And I'm sick to death of people yelling at the reaction channels and saying, you all should just stop reacting to Chantal. Even if we did, even if every channel decided to turn away from Chantal, that is not going to stop her from acting the way that she's acting. It's not going to completely change her. She's not going to have a wake-up moment from that. She's not. She's not going to stop. And we don't have the power to stop her. We don't have the power to change her. We don't have any power over her. So anybody coming to reaction channels and saying we're part of the problem, we're not. Chantal has her own problem. She's her own responsibility. All we're here to do is react to her and comment on what she's doing and show people the real her. We are the truth to her lies. We expose the deception. We show people who she is. So maybe anyone who gets on YouTube that might want to make a channel, perhaps they might come across the reaction channels first and say, wait a minute, even though she's got a big channel, maybe I don't do the things that she's doing. Maybe I shouldn't live this way. Chantal's whole life on YouTube has been a cautionary tale. And all the reaction channels are doing is showing how that cautionary tale can go sideways and affect somebody. We're just here to react, folks. We don't have any power over this woman. We can't change her. And even if we all stopped reacting to her, she's still not going to change. We're just here to document all of her lies and all of her bullshit and hold her accountable, because she's not going to hold herself accountable. Do you understand? That's all we're here to do. That's all we can do. We can't help her. And nobody in the audience can help her. And Pete's can't help her. And the family can't help her. They cannot stop her from her reckless behavior. Only Chantal can do that. She's the one that's got to turn things around. Spicy Pickle says your most consistent content on this channel, other than the live streams, is you making apologies. Yeah, it's a frequent cycle with her. Christo Babe says, this is like an abuser apologizing for abusing you because they were drunk and couldn't control themselves. Cater says, it's amazing that you're almost 40. How have you made it this far with your judgment skills? I'm surprised she has made it this far. Carlos says, whenever you drink, your mask comes off, Chantal, and you show how you really feel. Everyone knows you're a terrible person. You don't have to apologize. We know it's not sincere. Yeah, we saw how she acted in Cuba. We saw what she said and who she was when the mask came off, all the comments she made, including the comment that none of the reactors are going to let anybody forget. The comment about, I'm going to manipulate the F out of you, and then I'll be sweet as pie, and you're going to eat it up. We're never going to let you forget about that, Chantal, because that was the real you talking. That was you. You are a manipulator. You're a liar. You play your audience. You try to play everybody. We're never going to let you live that down. We're never going to let people forget. Peach said, please just remember that you said, I'm never drinking ever again, I promise, not too long ago in Cuba. What will you do to make this time stick? She won't. She won't. She absolutely won't. Ooh, I like this comment. Linda says, being drunk does not cause you to spew lies and hate. Being drunk causes you to speak all of your true feelings and opinions without a filter. So, in effect, you are apologizing for all the ugly, hateful things that occupy your soul. Yep, yep. When she drinks, her soul jumps out of her mouth and in full view of everyone. We get to see how dark it is in there. Everybody's saying she's not sorry. Jing says, you know what you're doing. You push the live button, put the bottle to your lips, and eat the wheelchair, knowing doggone well that's what's going to happen. At this point, you're wasting everyone's time with the hollow apologies. More respect would be given if you just called it for what it is. This is your truth as the person you are. My girls breathe fire says, everyone is acting outraged, but aren't unsubscribing. If anything, her count is going up. Every single person who is still sub to her is part of the problem. Yeah, that's something curious that happened. She got more subs last night. My question is why? Why are people subscribing to her channel? What's the reason for these subs? Is it morbid curiosity? Are people getting the feeling that something's going to happen to her and they want to witness it firsthand? I don't get it. They can't be subscribing to her because of positive, great content, entertaining content. It has to be morbid curiosity. Let me remind those people, you can watch through a reaction channel. You don't have to watch Chantal if you want to. You don't have to give financial support to her if you don't want to. There's always an alternative. You choose what you want to do, though. Walter's mom says, at this point, I think YouTube owes us an apology for allowing this to continue. Yeah, they brought her back on the platform. And look how she's repaid YouTube by acting the complete fool of herself, by being offensive, being hurtful, exploiting different groups of people, exploiting dead children. This is how she repays YouTube. Everybody's saying she's just plain evil. Oh, here's the comment I was talking about. Powdered Donut says, I'll be as sweet as pie tomorrow. Oh, you know it. You know I'm going to manipulate the F out of you, and you're going to eat it up, and you're going to watch me. Yep, she said that, and she meant it. You know, Chantal doesn't tell the truth very much, but she was being truthful when she said that. And she wasn't wrong because she manipulates people and she gets away with it. Let's see. Life with Shell says excuses don't fix it. Change in your behavior is the only thing that will fix it. If anything, do it for yourself. Do something you can be proud of and brag about. Lately, there is nothing appealing in your content. That is why reaction channels do so good. They simply show the version of you that you think you can erase by deleting content. Once it's on the internet, it will always be there. Do something about what you share online. You know, as a reactor, I wish Chantal would slow down. I mean, she doesn't need to do 6 to 9 hours of live streams a day, constantly back to back to back. I would rather her focus on quality content than quantity content. It's a full-time job, literally keeping up with Chantal from like morning until night. I wish that YouTube would limit her to like 3 live streams a day. You know, then she would have to choose when she live streams and how many. She couldn't just get away with doing constant live streams. I wish she would just stop that. All Amor Grassi says rage, apologize, block, seeing Natter secretly, going back to Natter, Natter goes to Dee, rage, apologize, block. Yeah, that's pretty much the cycle in a nutshell. You summed that up very well. Fiber Nazi fan says the way you treat Pete is like an emotional support pet is abominable. Yeah, she was grabbing all over Pete. She was touching all over Pete, and she was doing it to make Natter jealous. Let's just call it for what it is. She was doing it to make Natter jealous. She had her camera on. She wasn't doing it with her camera off. She was trying to get to Natter. She was using Pete's to get to Natter, and Natter didn't care. Natter did not care. He was with Dee Dee. He didn't care. But trying to use your ex to get the attention of some loser guy like Natter, I mean, so pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Kissing all over Pete's, touching all over Pete's, trying to make out with Pete's. You're not doing it because you really want Pete's. You're doing it because you're drunk and because you're desperate for somebody to call you. Pathetic. New York C says, you kissed Pete's. Now Natter can justify every time he was paranoid about you living together. I don't think Natter cares about Pete's. I really don't think he does. I don't think it bothers him if she goes to Pete's because he can see right through her. He knows why she's doing it. But it's pathetic to use one man to get to another man and trying to do it right in front of him. It's just so sad. You know, like have a little class, Foodie. Crumbum says, you should start by apologizing to Pete who took care of you despite your unwanted advances and kissing him without consent. Yeah, apologize to him, bro. All of that unwanted touching and kissing, that was uncomfortable. If the situation were reversed, if Pete were a woman and Chantal was a man doing that in front of people, that would just be almost criminal behavior. Howard Johnson says, a drunk mind speaks a sober heart. Yep, absolutely. There's so many comments here. I can just sit here and read all day, but I don't want to make this react too terribly long. I got to check out Chantal's stream and cover it if she's even done. But you guys get the gist of what people are thinking and feeling after the roller coaster that was yesterday. It was a lot. And the icing on the cake was her being blasted on camera and leaving the camera to go vomit in the bathroom or perhaps near the bathroom and just coming back and gagging. That was the way that last night ended, was her doing that. As I said, I hope I never see that again. I hope that I never see that level of train wreck ever again from Chantal. As I said, I've seen her drunk, I've seen her messed up on chemicals, but last night was another level. And I don't want her to die on camera in front of me and everybody else. I think that would be traumatic for everybody. It would be way too much. But only Chantal can turn things around. Only Chantal has the power to change her life. Nobody, not her viewers, not her VIBs, not the reactors, none of us can do anything for her. We can't help her. She's got to help herself first. She's got to reach that point where she says to herself, I am sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I've got to change. There is no other choice here. She's not changing because she has a choice. She can keep on going and get money from people and live that reckless lifestyle. But until she reaches that point where she knows she has to change, she has to. No, any advice you try to give her, any help you try to give her, it's going to be a moot point. She's not going to accept it. She's not going to pursue it. So until then, what can we do except watch and comment? There's really nothing else, y'all. So that's it for this React video, for the community post. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment yourself. Thanks for watching and have a good day. Bye-bye.